I'm tired of you. I deserve better, said Lauren, laughing with her lover at the party. I nodded and quietly replied, Great, because I just sent your secrets to the whole office. Her face turned pale as I left, holding up evidence that would ruin their lives. Andrew Carter stepped into the crowded Chicago loft, the pulse of electronic music vibrating through his chest. He adjusted his tie, scanning the room for Lauren, his wife of 5 years. She'd insisted he attend this company party, a glitzy affair for a fashion startup's latest launch. He spotted her across the room, her laughter sharp and bright, her hand resting on the arm of her boss, Zach Reynolds. Andrew's stomach tightened, but he brushed it off. She was networking, right? That's what she always said. He grabbed a drink from a passing tray and moved toward the bar, weaving through clusters of influencers snapping selfies and investors nodding over bourbon. Lauren hadn't noticed him yet. Her head tilted closer to Zach, their conversation too intimate for a professional setting. Andrew's grip on his glass tightened. He wasn't the jealous type, but something about Zach's easy smirk set his nerves on edge. He found a quiet corner and checked his phone, hoping for a distraction. A notification pinged. Lauren's calendar, synced to his device, showed a late-night strategy meeting with Zach tomorrow. Odd. She hadn't mentioned it. Andrew's thumb hovered over the screen, his pulse quickening. He glanced up. Lauren was gone. So was Zach. He slipped through the crowd, his eyes darting between faces. A side hallway led to a quieter area, where glass doors opened to a balcony. Through the window, he saw them, Lauren and Zach, standing too close, her fingers brushing his collar. Andrew froze, his breath catching. Then he noticed something on the floor near his feet, a USB drive, small and black, half hidden under a table. It wasn't his. He bent down, picked it up, and tucked it into his pocket, his mind racing. Back at the bar, he ordered a water, needing clarity. The USB weighed heavy in his jacket, like a secret begging to be uncovered. He couldn't confront Lauren here, not with her colleagues watching, not with Zach's smug presence looming. Instead, he texted her, "Where are you?" No reply. Minutes later, she reappeared, her smile too wide, her eyes avoiding his. "Hey, babe," she said, sliding up beside him. "Having fun. Where were you?" Andrew's voice was steady, but his fingers curled around the USB in his pocket. "Just chatting with the team," she said, her tone breezy. "You know how these things are." She sipped her wine, her gaze flickering to the balcony door. Zach stepped back into the room, his shirt slightly rumpled, his grin unfazed. Andrew's jaw clenched. He didn't buy it. At home that night, Lauren disappeared into the shower, leaving her purse on the kitchen counter. Andrew stared at it, the USB burning a hole in his pocket. He shouldn't look. It wasn't his style to snoop. But the image of her hand on Zach's arm wouldn't leave him. He plugged the drive into his laptop, his heart pounding. A folder popped up, private. He clicked it. Emails, voice memos, screenshots. His breath hitched as he opened the first file, a chat between Lauren and Zach, time-stamped last week. Andrew's so predictable, Lauren had written. He'll never suspect a thing. Zach's reply, "Good. Makes this easier. You sure he won't check your phone?" Lauren, "He trusts me." It's almost sad. Andrew's chest tightened, the words slicing through him. He clicked a voice memo. Lauren's voice, low and teasing. "He thinks I'm at yoga tonight. God, it's too easy." Zach laughed in the background, a sound that made Andrew's skin crawl. He scrolled further. More messages, more mockery. They called him the nice guy, the safe bet. But then he found something worse. Spreadsheets labeled client reports. Numbers didn't add up. Fake engagement metrics, inflated sales data. Lauren and Zach weren't just cheating on him. They were defrauding their company's investors. Andrew leaned back, his mind spinning. This wasn't just personal. It was criminal. He copied the files to his own drive, his hands shaking but deliberate. Lauren emerged from the bathroom, humming, oblivious. "You're up late," she said, glancing at his laptop. "Work stuff." "Yeah," he lied, closing the screen. "Just wrapping up." She kissed his forehead, her touch cold, and headed to bed. Andrew stayed in the living room, staring at the USB. He could confront her now, scream, demand answers. But that's what she'd expect, The predictable Andrew, hurt and loud. No, he'd be smarter than that. The next morning, Lauren left early, claiming a breakfast meeting. Andrew waited until her car pulled away, then reopened the files. He cross-checked the emails against her work calendar. Patterns emerged. Meetings that coincided with hotel bookings, late nights that aligned with Zach's travel. He hacked into her work email. She'd used the same password since college, a detail she'd overlooked. More evidence piled up. Contracts with forged signatures, hushed-up complaint from small designers whose work they'd borrowed. Andrew's phone buzzed. A text from Lauren. "Dinner tonight? My treat." He stared at it, his anger hardening into resolve. She thought she could play him, keep him in the dark while she and Zach laughed. But he wasn't the fool they assumed. He replied, "Sure. Sound great." Then he opened his calendar and marked the date of Zach's big investor presentation. 3 days away. An idea formed, sharp and dangerous. He wouldn't just expose their affair. He'd unravel their entire house of lies. By noon, Andrew was at a coffee shop, his laptop open, digging deeper. He found Zach's login for the company's presentation software. Same password as his email, a lazy mistake. Andrew downloaded the keynote for the upcoming event, a sleek deck touting the brand's success. He didn't change it yet. Timing was everything. He needed more proof, more leverage. He emailed a contact from Lauren's firm, posing as a junior assistant, requesting access to old project files. They sent them without question. Sloppy. Perfect. That evening, Lauren was all smiles at dinner, chatting about work, her eyes darting to her phone every few minutes. Andrew played along, nodding, asking questions. "How's Zach's big pitch coming?" he asked casually, watching her reaction. She froze for a split second, then laughed. "Oh, you know Zach. He's got it under control." Andrew smiled, his mind already on the files waiting at home. She had no idea what was coming. Andrew woke before dawn, the USB drive still plugged into his laptop. Sleep had been a fleeting guest, chased away by the sting of Lauren's betrayal and the weight of what he'd uncovered. He poured coffee, the bitter steam sharpening his focus, and opened the copied files again. The evidence was damning. Emails where Zach instructed Lauren to tweak campaign data, voice memos of them planning to siphon fund from a client's budget. Andrew's fingers hovered over the keyboard. This wasn't just about their affair anymore. It was a ticking bomb that could ruin their careers. He checked his phone. Lauren had texted at 2 a.m., late night at the office. "Don't wait up." A lie, of course. He'd track her phone's location, another careless password she hadn't changed, and saw it ping at a downtown hotel. Andrew's chest tightened, but he pushed the hurt aside. Emotion wouldn't help him now. Precision would. He opened Zach's presentation software again, using the stolen login. The keynote was still there, untouched, a polished facade of success. He started crafting a new slide, one that would slip into the deck unnoticed until the perfect moment. By mid-morning, Andrew was at his office, a small marketing firm a few miles from Lauren's glitzy startup. He kept his routine normal, answering emails, joining a team call, but his mind was elsewhere. He emailed a former colleague, Mia, who'd left Lauren's company under murky circumstances. Posing as a curious friend, he asked about her exit. Her reply came fast. "They pushed me out after I questioned some creative accounting." Be careful, Andrew. Zach's untouchable. Untouchable. The word fueled him. No one was untouchable. He dug into the project files he'd pulled yesterday. One document stood out, a contract with a small designer, Aria Chun, whose patterns Lauren's team had used without credit. Andrew found Aria's contact online and sent a cautious message. "Did you know your designs were used in a recent campaign?" Her response was immediate, furious. They claimed it was inspired. "I got nothing." Andrew promised to share proof and asked for her silence. Another ally, another piece in place. At lunch, he met his friend Nate at a diner near Lake Michigan. Nate, a freelance coder with a knack for bending systems, didn't ask why Andrew needed help accessing a private server. "You sure about this?" Nate asked, sliding a USB with a custom script across the table. "This'll get you into their internal drives, but it's a one-shot deal." Andrew nodded, pocketing the drive. "I'm sure." Nate didn't push. He knew Andrew's tone, quiet but unyielding. Back home, Lauren was out again, her absence a loud confirmation of her lies. Andrew used Nate's script to breach the company's server, downloading a folder labeled Confidential Metrics. Inside were spreadsheets detailing inflated sales, fake social media stats, and a memo from Zach to Lauren. If the investors ask, we miscalculated. Keep it vague. Andrew's pulse raced. This was the key proof of fraud that could sink them both. He backed it up to an encrypted cloud, then wiped his tracks. His phone buzzed. A new email from an unknown address. You're digging where you shouldn't. Stop now. No signature, but the tone screamed Zach. Andrew's jaw tightened. He wasn't intimidated. He was motivated. He replied from a burner account. Too late. You should have been more careful. He hit send, his heart pounding with a mix of fear and defiance. Zach thought he could scare him off. He learned soon enough. That evening, Andrew tested his plan. He uploaded a dummy slide to the presentation software, embedding it between Zach's graphs. It was blank, invisible to anyone skimming, but it worked. No alerts, no flags. He could replace it with the real evidence when the time came. He leaned back, adrenaline coursing. The investor event was tomorrow night. Every move had to be perfect. Lauren came home late, her perfume sharp and unfamiliar. Long day, she muttered, avoiding his eyes. Andrew played along, asking about her pitch prep. It's fine, she snapped and softened. Sorry, just stressed. Zach's counting on me. Andrew nodded, hiding his smirk. I bet he is. She didn't catch the edge in his voice, already scrolling her phone. He waited until she slept, then slipped into the guest room with his laptop. He pulled up the evidence again, organizing it. A screenshot of their mocking texts, a clip of Zach's voice admitting to data fraud, Aria's stolen designs. He crafted the slide carefully, clean, professional, undeniable. It would blend into Zach's deck until it hit a digital guillotine. He saved it, password protected, and set a timer to upload it remotely during the event. No one would trace it to him. The next morning, Andrew called in sick to work, needing the day to prepare. He drove to the venue, a sleek co-working space downtown, and scouted the layout. The presentation room had a massive screen, perfect for his reveal. He overheard staff discussing security, lax as expected. Zach's arrogance extended to his team. Andrew slipped a spare lanyard from a check-in table, pocketing it for tomorrow. He'd be a ghost in the crowd. Back at the coffee shop, he got a message from Aria. I found another designer they ripped off. We're ready to talk if you have proof. Andrew's resolve hardened. This wasn't just his fight anymore. He sent her a redacted file, enough to confirm the theft without exposing his full hand. Her reply was a single word. Thanks. He felt a spark of purpose. He wasn't just tearing down Lauren and Zach. He was giving others a voice. As night fell, Andrew sat in his car, the city's skyline glittering across the lake. His phone lit up, Lauren calling. He let it ring. Her voicemail was shaky. Andrew, we need to talk. I know you're upset about something. Just come to the event tomorrow, okay? It'll be fine. Fine. The word grated. Nothing was fine, but it would be soon. He deleted the message and drove to Nate's place, needing a quiet space to finalize his plan. Tomorrow, the world would see Lauren and Zach for who they were. And Andrew, he'd be the one holding the switch. Andrew slipped into the Chicago co-working venue, the stolen lanyard dangling from his neck. The space buzzed with anticipation. Investors, influencers, and startup execs mingled, their chatter blending with a thrum of curated music. He kept his head low, blending into the crowd, his pulse steady but rapid. Tonight was Zach's big investor pitch, the moment Andrew had engineered to unravel everything. His phone, tucked in his pocket, held the remote trigger to upload the damning slide. One tap, and the truth would burn. He spotted Lauren near the stage, her posture stiff, her eyes scanning the room. She hadn't seen him yet. Zach stood beside her, mic clipped to his collar, rehearsing his opening lines to a small group of suits. Andrew moved to the back, near the tech booth, where a distracted AV guy fiddled with cables. Perfect. No one would notice him accessing the presentation software. He logged in using Zach's credentials, double-checking the timed upload. The slide was ready, screenshots, audio clips, and stolen design contracts, all set to replace Zach's revenue graph at the 6-minute mark. Andrew's phone vibrated. A text from Aria, the designer. "We're here, ready to back you up." She and another wronged artist, Javier, had slipped into the event as plus ones, their presence a silent reinforcement. Andrew nodded to himself. This wasn't just his reckoning anymore. He sent a quick reply. "Stay low. It's almost time." Then he muted his phone, his focus sharpening. The lights dimmed, and Zach took the stage, his voice smooth and commanding. "Welcome to the future of fashion," he began, clicking to the first slide, a glossy brand logo. The audience clapped, enthralled. Andrew's fingers twitched, counting the minutes. Slide 2, market trends. Slide 3, influencer stats. Each click brought the moment closer. Lauren stood off stage, her arms crossed, her gaze flickering nervously. Did she sense something? At slide 4, Andrew's phone buzzed again, an unknown number. He ignored it, but voicemail popped up. He stepped into a quiet corner and played it, keeping one eye on the stage. It was Emily, Zach's wife. "I know what you're planning. I found your email to Aria. I'm not mad, I'm in. Check your inbox." Andrew's breath caught. He opened his email. Emily had sent a file, a recorded call where Zach admitted to skimming client funds, thinking he was untouchable. It was gold. Andrew forwarded it to Aria and Javier, adding, "Use this if I don't pull through." Slide 5. Zach's voice droned about innovation, but the crowd's energy shifted. Less clapping, more murmurs. Andrew tapped his phone, initiating the upload. The software pinged softly, confirming the swap. His heart pounded, but he stayed still, a shadow in the room. Slide 6 loaded. The screen flickered, then displayed the truth. A screenshot of Zach and Lauren's texts mocking Andrew, overlaid with a spreadsheet of fake sales data. A voice clip played. Zach's voice, clear and smug. "The investors won't check the numbers. They never do." The room froze. Zach stopped mid-sentence, his hand hovering over the clicker. Lauren's head snapped toward the screen, her body rigid. Whispers erupted, phones raised to record. An investor in the front row stood, his voice sharp. "What the hell is this?" Zach stammered. "This isn't. Someone hacked the deck." Lauren rushed on stage, grabbing the mic. "It's a mistake, a prank." But her voice cracked, betraying her. Andrew slipped toward the exit, his role done. Aria caught his eye, nodding subtly. She and Javier were already texting their contacts, spreading the evidence to design forums and industry chats. The room's chaos grew, investors shouting, influencers live-streaming, Zach fumbling to skip the slide. But the damage was done. The screen looped to a second file, Emily's recording now playing, Zach's voice admitting fraud. The crowd gasped. Lauren's face drained of color, her hands gripping the podium. Outside, Andrew leaned against a wall, the city's pulse mixing with his own. His phone lit up with notifications, screenshots of the slide already viral on social media. A text from Nate, "You did it. It's everywhere." Andrew exhaled, the weight of months lifting, replaced by a sharp clarity. He hadn't just exposed their affair. He'd cracked open their entire scheme. But Lauren's voice echoed in his mind, her desperate lie about a prank. She tried to spin this. He needed to stay one step ahead. His phone buzzed again. "Emily, meet me tomorrow. Coffee shop on 9th. We need to talk." Andrew hesitated, then replied, "I'll be there." He didn't know her, but her message carried a raw honesty he recognized. Someone else betrayed. Someone else done playing small. He pocketed his phone and walked into the night, the venue's chaos fading behind him. The fuse was lit, and the fire was spreading faster than he'd planned. Andrew woke to a flood of notifications, his phone buzzing like an angry hive. Social media was ablaze with clips from Zach's ruined presentation, screenshots of incriminating texts, snippets of his voice admitting fraud, and Aria's designs labeled as stolen. He scrolled through the chaos, his coffee cooling on the table of Nate's spare room. A tweet from a fashion blogger read, "Major scandal at Chicago startup. Is this the end of Zach Reynolds' empire?" Andrew's lips twitched. Not yet, but close. He drove to the coffee shop on 9th to meet Emily, Zach's wife. The place was quiet, a few morning commuters tapping laptops. Emily sat in a corner, her posture tense, a folder in front of her. She waved him over, her eyes sharp but weary. "You're Andrew," she said, not a question. He nodded, sitting. She slid the folder across. "Bank records. Zach moved money to an offshore account last year. I found it after your email." Andrew flipped through the pages. Transfers linked to Lauren's projects, millions unaccounted for. His jaw tightened. This was bigger than he'd thought. "I'm filing for divorce," Emily said, her voice steady. "But I need your help. The board's meeting today. They're circling the wagons to protect Zach." Andrew leaned forward. "What do you need?" She handed him a USB. More audio. Zach bribing a vendor to fake supply chain data. "If you can get this to the right people, they'll have to act." Andrew pocketed the drive. "Consider it done." Back in his car, he called Aria. She answered on the first ring. "The design community's losing it," she said. "Javier and I posted your evidence anonymously. 3 more designers came forward with stolen work." Andrew's resolve hardened. "Good. I've got something new. Can you get it to your network?" She agreed, and he sent her Emily's audio, encrypted. The net was tightening. His phone lit up with a call from Lauren. He let it go to voicemail. Her message was frantic. "Andrew, this is out of control. Meet me. We can fix this. Please." He deleted it, his focus on the board meeting. He knew someone who could help, Tasha Corgan, a compliance officer at the holding company overseeing Lauren's firm. He'd met her once at a networking event, her no-nonsense vibe unforgettable. He emailed her from a burner account, attaching a sample of Emily's audio and a note. "Board meeting today. This can't be ignored." By noon, Andrew was outside the firm's downtown office, a glass tower looming over the city. He didn't go in, just watched from a nearby bench as suits hurried inside. His phone pinged. Tasha, confirming receipt. "We're reviewing now. Stay available." Andrew exhaled, the weight of his actions settling in. He wasn't just exposing a betrayal. He was dismantling a machine that chewed up people like Aria and Javier. Lauren called again. He ignored it, but a text followed. "I know you're behind this. Stop before you ruin everything." He typed back, "You ruined it. I'm just making it public." He hit send, his hands steady. She didn't reply. Minutes later, a news alert flashed. Fashion startup faces fraud allegations. Executive board launches probe. Andrew's pulse quickened. The audio had hit its mark. He drove to a park, needing air. His phone buzzed with a message from Nate. "Board suspending Zach and Lauren pending investigation." "You're trending, man." Andrew didn't check social media. He didn't need to. The truth was out, spreading like wildfire. He called Emily. "It's working," he said. "Tasha's on it." Emily's voice cracked with relief. "Thank you. I didn't think anyone would listen." Andrew hung up, a strange calm settling over him. This wasn't about revenge anymore. It was about justice. By evening, the fallout was undeniable. Aria texted, "2 clients just pulled funding. Zach's done." Andrew nodded to himself, but a pang hit him. Lauren's career, the one she'd valued over their marriage, was crumbling. He didn't feel joy, just a hollow clarity. He checked his voicemail again. Lauren's latest message was softer, almost broken. "I didn't mean for this to happen. I am sorry, Andrew. Can we talk?" He saved it, not ready to respond. Not yet. He met Tasha that night in a discreet office suite she'd arranged. She sat across from him, her laptop open to the files he'd sent. "This is explosive," she said. "The board's launching a full audit. Lauren and Zach are out, effective immediately." Andrew leaned back, processing. What happens next? Tasha's eyes narrowed. "Legal action. They'll face charges for fraud, maybe embezzlement." Your evidence was airtight. Andrew nodded, the finality sinking in. He'd won, but the cost was still unfolding. As he left, his phone buzzed. A message from Javier. "We're filing a class action suit against the company. You in?" Andrew hesitated. He didn't want money, just closure. He replied, "I'll think about it. Keep me posted." The city lights blurred as he walked, the weight of the day lifting slightly. Lauren and Zach were done, their lies exposed, their empire in ruins. But Andrew wasn't celebrating. He was moving forward, one step at a time, into a life he could finally call his own. Andrew unlocked the door to his new apartment, a modest one-bedroom on Chicago's north side. Boxes sat unpacked, but the space felt like his, a clean slate after months of chaos. His phone stayed quiet for the first time in days, the storm of notifications fading as the scandal settled. He brewed coffee, the routine grounding him, and checked his email. A message from Tasha Corgan confirmed the board's decision. Lauren and Zach faced criminal charges for fraud, their careers obliterated. Andrew exhaled, the finality sinking in. He opened his laptop, skimming news updates. A headline caught his eye. Designers file class action lawsuit against fashion startup. Aria and Javier had rallied others, their case gaining traction. Andrew hadn't joined the suit. He didn't need compensation, just the truth out. He sent Aria a quick message. Proud of you. Keep fighting. Her reply was swift. Couldn't have done it without you. A small smile tugged at his lips. He'd sparked something bigger than himself. His phone buzzed, a call from Emily. He answered, her voice calm but resolute. I'm moving to Seattle with my son, she said. Clean start. I wanted to thank you again. Andrew nodded, though she couldn't see. You gave me what I needed too, he said. Good luck. She paused, then added, you're stronger than they thought. The call ended, and Andrew sat back, her words echoing. Strength wasn't what he'd felt in the moment, just clarity, purpose. He walked to a nearby bookstore, craving normalcy. The clerk, Sienna, recognized him from a prior visit. She handed him a novel he'd mentioned last time, her smile easy. Thought you'd like this, she said, ringing it up. Andrew thanked her, their chat brief but warm. She asked about his week. He gave a vague answer, not ready to unpack the past. Maybe tell me over coffee sometime, she said, bold but kind. He nodded, surprised by his own agreement. Yeah, I'd like that. Back at his apartment, Andrew ignored a new voicemail from Lauren's lawyer, Deborah. Her tone was clipped. My client seeks a private settlement. Name your terms. Andrew deleted it. No amount of money could rewrite the years he'd spent trusting a lie. He blocked her number, severing the last tie. Lauren's final text, sent days ago, lingered in his mind. I'm sorry. I lost myself. He hadn't replied then and wouldn't now. Apologies couldn't rebuild what she'd broken. He turned his focus to work, pitching a solo marketing project to a local nonprofit. His boss, impressed by his initiative, greenlit it. Andrew spent the evening sketching ideas, his mind sharp, unburdened. For the first time in years, he wasn't proving himself to anyone, just building something for himself. His phone pinged, a news alert. Zach's assets were frozen, pending investigation. Lauren had left Chicago, her whereabouts unknown. Andrew felt no satisfaction, only closure. The next morning, he met Sienna at a cafe. She listened as he shared fragments of his story. Not the scandal, but the weight of starting over. You seem like someone who knows what he wants now, she said, stirring her latte. Andrew considered this. I'm learning, he admitted. Their conversation flowed, her questions thoughtful, her laughter genuine. He didn't feel judged or diminished, just seen. Days later, Andrew got an email from Javier. Lawsuits moving forward. We're naming you as a witness if you're okay with it. Andrew agreed, ready to stand behind the truth. He spent the afternoon volunteering at the nonprofit, designing a campaign for a community event. The work felt meaningful, a stark contrast to the hollow ambition of Lauren's world. He texted Nate, thanks for the couch. I'm good now. Nate's reply was simple, knew you would be. By week's end, Andrew walked along Lake Michigan, the water glinting under a pale sun. His phone stayed in his pocket, no longer a tether to drama. He thought of Lauren, briefly. Her betrayal had cracked him open, but it hadn't destroyed him. Instead, it forced him to rebuild stronger, clearer. He wasn't the safe bet she'd mocked. He was Andrew, whole on his own terms. Sienna texted, inviting him to a local art fair. He accepted, a spark of anticipation flickering. The past was done, its ashes scattered. Ahead lay a life he was shaping. One choice, one step, one truth at a time. He walked on, the city alive around him, his heart steady with possibility.